Good afternoon, Richie from Driftomaniacs here with my battle-hardened and somewhat dirty Axial AX10 deadbolt. Now I thought I'd take it out today and give it a test against the wall, see how it gets on compared to how the Traxxas TRX4 did. Overall, this car is fairly stock. Oh, it's not the stock colour scheme, but overall the car is fairly stock. Today we're running on 3S, which means it does have quite a bit of poke. Still got the pretty damn good drag brake on there though. Does about 30 miles an hour flat out. Now, bear in mind the tyres on this are an inch bigger than they are on the Traxxas TRX4, but the axle height is exactly the same due to the portal axles on the Traxxas TRX4. So interested to see how this gets on versus the wall. Now, the suspension layout on these is very different in terms of the angle that the shock absorbers and the springs sit at. The springs and the shocks sit very much at an angle compared to Traxxas ones, which are very much upright on here. Still got the same 4-link setup though. This doesn't have 2-speed transmission, so it wants to accelerate faster along here. So I think we'll make quicker progress than with the Traxxas. As I say, the axle height is different. Where it does differ as well is the TRX4. You've got that skid plate under here. The Axial obviously doesn't have that. We shouldn't grind out on as much, but we've maybe not quite got that same low speed throttle on there. There's maybe a little more tendency to give this more gas, and why it always gets stuck on sticks on film. Now there, that is where maybe the Traxxas maybe would have got around that a little bit better. As I say, fairly wide set of rocks to throw at the thing along here. See, from the side there, very clearly you can see the different suspension setup compared to the Traxxas, and obviously the way the axles are driven, completely different. There's a conventional axle setup, whereas the Traxxas TRX4 has the portal axles on there. But I just was interested to see how this would get on, and we're making fairly short work of this. The big tyres do enable, like I say, look, and as though on cue, oh there we are. This with the 3S pack fitted, we've got plenty of torque on here. This is just the stock motor. Got a Spectrum radio gear fitted to this though, and the thing is the moderates there, and wondering why that servo looks different. It's everything has been fully waterproofed on there. In fact, this car will crawl fully underwater, the whole thing submerged. We're not going to get over this though. Likewise, very unlikely to get over that. We can have a try, but I very, very much doubt we're going to get anywhere with this. No, not a chance in hell. And see, the tyre's not doing badly grip-wise, but the other tyre, nope, close but no cigar. Although there's maybe any competition to crawler would get over that beast, and immediately put it down and grind the damn thing out. Again, this wall, I think it's a fairly good test I found of the various colours. First time I brought the Axial along this. So I'll check out that articulation on there. And it's not maybe quite as easy to control as the Traxxas is, with not having a 2-speed gear, but with only having the one gearing on there. The low speed control on the thing is maybe not quite so good as the Traxxas is. Ground out on the bottom there. That's where you notice the difference there, and I think rocketed back, whereas the Traxxas didn't tend to. On here we do that a lot. That's where that lower speed gearbox does tend to come into its own. Stage 2. This certainly has like a lot more go to it, if you like, to speed wise, than the Traxxas does. But I love the Traxxas for that low speed crawling ability. I would say he's better than the Axial AX10 deadbolt. The body clearance on this does help slightly, but this isn't scale and trail as such. It's semi-scale on here, but there's nowhere near the same level of detail or scale sized body as there is on the Traxxas TRX4. But I would like to put them head to head soon. Maybe take them out on the trail together. Need another driver though. What are we going to do on here? Come on, come on. Yay! Oh, and then immediately I get stuck. Now, none of these rocks will have moved that much since I went over this with the TRX4 the other day, so you might want to check that video out and see how they do side by side. The tyres on this, I would say, are maybe not quite as good as they are at the... Just then immediately I borrowed the thing and we get stuck. Although I do love this thing, and the fact that it will simply plough through anything with it being fully waterproof. Although I had to add quite a lot of wheel weights. Now, the thing with this is it's got enough power there, where even with just the one gear, to be able to blast out of situations like that. But it's not, I don't think it's as nice to drive as the Traxxas is. To my mind, actually feels that the trickier of the two trucks to drive. I know they're completely different setups, so don't shoot me down in flames too much, guys and girls, for that. But I would say my initial thoughts of coming along here and did the same thing as I went with the Traxxas is this is a little bit trickier to drive. Part of it is down to that just the one gearing setup on there. It's not doing badly, but I don't feel it's maybe doing quite as well as I thought it would do. But as I said, the axle height is the same as with the Traxxas due to the portal axles. Yeah, I'm certainly encountering more trouble on this today. The tyres aren't quite as squishy on this. Now you could cut them down and modify them. I'm sure people do that, and that is certainly something I'm going to consider, particularly after the way I'm driving today. Now, what I can remember is the other day I came around that tree cleanly with the Traxxas. Well, the trials and tribulations of filming. Something has clearly gone amiss, whether the SC's got maybe a little bit too hot or not, I'm not quite sure. This is was a fully charged 3S pack, 5000 milliamps. Shouldn't have run out of juice in this particular time. Lights are still on, so we've still got power, so I'm guessing the SC's got a little bit too warm today. Well, maybe I called it quits too early there, because within just a minute or so, by the time we walked back in the house, we got power back on. So just guessing our ESC overheated a bit there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short run of the Axial AX10 deadbolt versus the wall. If you did, then please do subscribe and share with friends.
Well, if you like this video, then please do subscribe. And if you want to buy your RC gear, where I buy mine, buy from F&M Hobbies in New Jersey. Many thanks for watching.